Mantis Man, or Mantids. Paranormal researcher Lon Strickler received an email report of a giant praying mantis-type creature, which is a common example of these types of encounters. In 2006, a man fly fishing with his boss in the Musconetcong River near Hackettstown, New Jersey, noticed something out of the corner of his eye 20 yards away. A being resembling a giant praying mantis, 6 to 7 feet tall, was treading up the riverbank towards the field and looking over its left shoulder, staring directly at the witness. He had the sense that the creature was surprised it was spotted. It stared at him for a moment before vanishing into thin air. There are alleged sightings of similar creatures, at least 3 in the same area, dating back to at least 1987. Insect-type mantis beings, often resembling giant praying mantises, are often reported during close encounters of the third and fourth kind. Dr. David Jacobs, who I discussed previously, has studied the abduction phenomena extensively and has written several books on the subject. From his data, Dr. Jacobs deduced that these insect-type aliens, or mantids as he calls them, seem to be dominant over the other common types of ETs, such as the gray aliens. The mantids are almost always seen with gray aliens, almost never by themselves. The mantids are sometimes reported as wearing a type of robe with a high collar or a cloak. Many abductees report the mantis-type beings seemingly overseeing the abduction and medical exam process, leaving most of the work to the smaller gray aliens, with the mantids rarely examining the abductees themselves. Abductees also commonly report that the mantids stare deeply into their eyes, seemingly extracting information or manipulating the emotions or mental state of the abductee, as other NHI do. In 2008, hunter Ricky Sorrells witnessed a gigantic UFO over a pasture behind his home in Dublin, Texas. While hunting, Ricky noticed that the sky went dark. He looked up to see that it was being blotted out by a gigantic object hovering roughly 300 feet above his head. The surface was a flat gray metal with cone-shaped indentations roughly 40 feet apart. Heat distortions also appeared on the craft's surface. Ricky decided against firing on the object, and instead got a closer look at the skin of the craft by using his scope. He estimated that the craft was at least 3 football field lengths. While observing the object under his scope, he came across what appeared to be a porthole, where a large, praying mantis-like creature was staring back at him. He was initially laughed off and mocked when he came forward with his encounter,